Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be going over my favorite player in the league, and that is Quenton Nelson, a man who needs no introduction, but I'll sure give him one. That is the 3-year pro, 3-year first-time All-Pro, 3-year Pro Bowler, 3 years, only allowed 3 sacks. You know, how many times can I say 3? We'll never figure it out. But, you know, he's just the most imposing interior lineman in this league. You know, when a defensive lineman comes into Indianapolis, that's the only thing they're thinking about. Man, it's going to suck going to have to match up against Quenton Nelson. You know, I'm sure he lives in the heads of all kinds of defensive line coaches, especially Tennessee, after how he played against them week 10 this year. That might have been the best game I've ever seen him play. No joke. I mean, I understand I'm probably the biggest Quenton Nelson fan in the universe, but he just played fantastic. I mean, it was absolutely immaculate. I chose 10 plays for him. You know, there's way more. There's all kinds of pancakes. We all know he does that. I'm trying to choose plays that show off his skill set more than just him being this imposing, you know, 330-pound man just mauling people. But yeah, enough of that talking. Let's just get into the video here. So first play, we're going to see what Quenton Nelson does the best. Now, one of the things I love about Quenton Nelson is just how well he does in and out of his stance, if you know what I'm saying there. Just his quickness, his discipline in his stance. You know, he doesn't have a tail. He never leans one way or another. Or if he does, it's purposeful. I actually made a video probably a couple months back talking about all of the fake reads Reich's system sets up and how Quenton Nelson will, like, lean one way to get a defensive back looking somewhere, then come back the other. It's really cool. You know, if you guys want to know, just comment and I'll go find the video for you. I'll send you a link. But yeah, that's one of the things I like about Quenton. And right here, as you can see, he is symmetrical. Hand down, body completely symmetrical. Of course, he's got his left foot back there. He's left guard. But there's no tail here. They don't know what he's doing based on his stance. It's really pretty much perfect. And it's going to set up this linebacker. Because once, we'll put it in slow motion here. Once he gets off the ball, good job here getting the double team, keeping his eyes down, and out of his peripherals, he's watching this linebacker. And this linebacker thinks he's not. He's just going to take off. He's going to fill this gap. What's Quenton do? He catches him. Boom. Turns right onto him. Moves him out. Keeps him out of that backside gap of flowing in there and trying to get his running back. Does an excellent job of run blocking on this play. And as you can see, all the extracurricular, playing against Tennessee, he's got to do that. Quenton, all game against Jeffrey Simmons, every time he hit Jaylen Brown, every time he hit anyone on this defensive line or linebacker core, he was doing a little extracurricular to get in their head, and I love that about Quenton. So next play I got for you guys here, we're just going to see Quenton Nelson do an excellent job of showing off his technique. Now, when you're versing a guy like Jeffrey Simmons, who is, in my opinion, the best interior defensive lineman in the league, or best interior run stuffer, I should say. Of course, Aaron Donald, you know, multiple-time defensive MVP. He's an absolute beast. But Quenton Nelson does a great job of, right here, catching Jeffrey Simmons. He catches Jeffrey Simmons. He waits for Anthony Costanzo to come in on the double team. He just does a good job of being that post man. See, on a double team, you have 2 people. You have your post and you have your drive. Unless it's zone, but we're not running zone right here. Right here, you're going to see Quenton take a step, post. Once he posts, what's Jeffrey Simmons do? Pad level, shoot straight up. That allows Costanzo to come in, get his shoulder. Wait a second. Nelson catches his feet, and then they begin to run him. Run Jeffrey Simmons, probably the strongest interior defensive lineman in this league, just straight out of the frame. And that's impressive. I don't know another offensive lineman that can do that. I've never seen another offensive lineman do that to Jeffrey Simmons, double team or not. You know, you can go look at Jeffrey Simmons play all season. You don't see anyone double team this man 10 yards down the field. But when Quenton Nelson's on the field, it happens. You know, that's not fluke. Quenton Nelson's that guy. You know, I could just say it over and over again. I don't know. I really can't reiterate it enough. Quenton Nelson is that guy. Anyone you put him against, he's going to win the matchup. And right there was no exception. So this next play here, you can call me crazy. You can call me whatever you want. But it looks like Quenton Nelson throws his leg in the way of this player that beats Costanzo on the interior on a pass rush. 58, this is Harold Landry working against Anthony Costanzo. If you're an avid Colts fan, you know, if you actually watch this team at all, you understood that Costanzo was at the end of his career this year. You know, Costanzo, Father Time got a hold of him, just wasn't the same player, wasn't as agile, wasn't as strong. He just wasn't that same quality Pro Bowl level left tackle we've had for the last 10 years this year. He just wasn't him. It wasn't the same guy. So Quenton Nelson did a lot of, I don't want to call it babysitting because Costanzo could hold his own a portion of the times, but sometimes, you know, Nelson would have to do a lot extra just to help him. And right here, it looks like this is one of them plays. You watch right here, Nelson snaps his head left. He has 93 completely under control, as he did the whole game. 93 was no threat to Nelson pass rushing. But once Nelson recognizes that he is beat, as you can see, he turns his whole body left, throws his foot out there just to give Costanzo a little help to make sure he doesn't beat him on his inside. That is an incredibly selfless play. That is just, it just shows me how much Quenton Nelson wants to win. He'll throw his own body on the line just to make sure Phillip Rivers doesn't get touched. I love that, man. I love that. That is what a real leader does. Keep in mind, this guy's 24 years old. So, next play here, we're going to see Nelson do a technique I haven't seen him do yet in his career. He just started it this year, and that's the hop-hop technique. Whenever you're an offensive lineman, you're going against a defensive lineman that either one, only bull rushes, or two, has an incredibly good bull rush. It's good to utilize this technique called the hop-hop. And that is, once you absorb their bull rush initially, you hop backwards, and then you hop backwards again. And what it does is it just kind of stalls out all their momentum. It's like you anchor, and then you anchor again, and you set back, and it usually stops. You know, it's kind of like physics. You just can't, a defensive lineman really can't do anything about it. Especially if the offensive lineman knows they're going to bull rush. This usually works 99% of the time. I mean, no joke. It's almost surefire sometimes. But right here, you're going to see him utilize it. Boom, hop. Tries to hop that second time. Gets his foot a little bit stuck on Costanzo's leg. But still yet. Does an excellent job of hopping initially and stopping all of his momentum off the jump. And then completely stalling out that bull rush. Now, I know this play, it didn't play out that far, you know, blah, blah, blah. It was just, I'm just throwing this in here because it was intriguing to see him working on techniques like that. So, hats off to the O-line coach, getting him coached up, teaching him new techniques. You know, one of the most, you know, menacing players in the league is learning new tricks as well. So, that's always cool to see. The next play here is going to be an excellent example of his pass protection. They're going to ask him to jump set. He's going to jump set, and then he's just going to do a great job of working his feet back, mirroring Jeffrey Simmons' body here, and just completely stalling him out on this pass rush attempt. We'll see it in slow motion. Right there, jump sets, mirrors his body, stays mirrored with him, gets his hands on the inside there, and just walls him off. I mean, that is an excellent rep. You just cannot ask for anything more from your interior offensive lineman, especially working against a guy like Jeffrey Simmons, who is, again, you know, he is the best interior defensive lineman in the league, but he is well above average at rushing the passer at his position. So don't get it twisted. Jeffrey Simmons is an elite talent, and I'm just throwing reps in here of him versus Jeffrey Simmons because of how good, you know, he is. So next play here is another great example of just Quenton Nelson being that dominant player, being that smart guy. You know, that's one of the things, another thing I like about Quenton Nelson. I always feel like when I'm watching him play, he's the smartest player on the field. There's just nothing that gets past him. He never makes mental errors. He never has mental lapses in what he's supposed to do. It's just really impressive seeing a guy his age just be so smart, be so understanding of the game of football. But that's what it is right here. He's going to see Jeffrey Simmons start to tail away from him. He's going to immediately put his eyes to the outside, look for the guy that's going to stunt. Right here, already has his eyes on him, passes him off, and then picks up the stunter. That's just an excellent job there from him. You know, it's almost like he's 2 steps ahead of these guys. It's like he already knows their play call, knows what they're going to do, and just performs an excellent handoff to Costanzo and picks up Harold Landry, who's trying to crash to the inside. So here, this is going to be a great example of, again, Quenton Nelson's versatility. He can do everything. Everything. You ask him to do something, he can do it. And right here, he just does an excellent job of protecting this screen, mirroring Jeffrey Simmons again, and then chop blocking. Now, some offensive line coaches don't like chop blocks. Well, it depends on the level you're at. Most NFL lineman coaches don't care, and I haven't really heard of many people saying it's a bad technique. But this is perfection. I mean, this is literally perfection. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. It's a great job of letting him upfield, getting his shoulder afterwards, staying in front of him, and then dropping and hitting him in the bottom of his legs. He's not hitting him in his knees, hitting him in his shins. So that's an excellent job. That's a great job from Nelson there. Again, you just can't ask for anything more. That's literally a perfect rep. That is a perfect rep on this play. So on this next play here, you know, I said I wasn't throwing a lot of run plays in here, but you know, you got to be crazy if you think I wasn't throwing at least one pancake in here, at least one just dominating the trenches. Because this game, week 10 of the 2020 season against the Titans in Tennessee, Quenton Nelson was going crazy. I mean, he was just throwing everyone around. It didn't matter who it was, especially if they didn't have Jeffrey Simmons over him. They were getting moved 3-4 yards, or they were getting pancaked one-on-one. It was an incredible performance, But right here, you know, whenever you need 2 yards, you're going to the goal line. Who do you want as your center and left guard duo? You know, some people tell you might want Ali Marpet, Ryan Jensen. You might want Andrew Norwell, Brandon Lindor. But if you're talking to me, if you're talking to anyone who knows offensive line, you want Quenton Nelson and you want Ryan Kelly. Watch these two go to work right here. Ryan Kelly does an excellent job here, getting off the ball, getting onto him, that nose, and then once Nelson touches him, he's on the ground. He's done. Completely meshes up the interior of this defense. Linebackers are having to run over the top of this double team that's landed him there. And that just ends up being a free touchdown. Nyheim Hines dives into the end zone. That's just an excellent play yet again. And I know I keep saying it's just an excellent play. I mean, it just was. Quenton Nelson played, again, the best game I've ever seen him play this week. So next play here is going to be what I call Quentonomics. You've heard of Reaganomics. It's, you know, the trickle-down effect. Wealth comes down. You know, it didn't exactly work how it was intended, but this play, that's a different story. Quentonomics always works as it's intended. And now, why do I call it that? Why am I calling it Quentonomics? Well, this is going to be a double team between Costanzo and Nelson onto Jeffrey Simmons yet again. I know I'm throwing a lot of Jeffrey Simmons plays in here, but again, I can't stress it enough. He's an elite talent. Jeffrey Simmons is an elite talent. He is a fantastic player. And the fact that Quenton Nelson was able to have so much success against him surprised me, in all honesty. And again, I'm a pretty big Quenton Nelson fan. But watch what happens here. He is going to be the sole reason that 1, 2, 3 players are blocked. Watch. Here they get off double team. Mo Alley Cox is flowing down. Boom. They got Jeffrey Simmons starting to run back into 55. And Mo Alley Cox hasn't even touched 55 yet, and he can't even flow through this hole because of how much movement this double team's getting. Fast forward a little bit here. Boom. Takes his leg out. They start moving. And then 1, 2, 3 are blocking. 1, 2, 3. What is it? 8 yards off the ball is the line of scrimmage. That is just dominance. That is pure dominance. That is 3 people getting washed because of 1 man getting so much movement. It is incredible that no one talks about stuff like this. No one, people just talk about the pancakes. That's just what the regular fan wants to talk about. But no one talks about how 1 man can be the sole reason that 3 people are being blocked on 1 play, opening up so much room for their running back. So last play I got for you guys here is going to look vaguely similar to the first one. You're going to see a double team between him and Costanzo on the number 90 here. Nelson's going to do a good job of being disciplined, keeping his eyes up, looking for 54, because that's their matchup. So it's Nelson, Costanzo, they're double teaming to 54 here. So say 54 float over the top. Costanzo would come off, pick up 54, Nelson would keep 90. If he flows inside, Costanzo keeps 90, Nelson picks up 54. So on this play, what happens? Double team, Nelson keeps his eyes up, looks for him, picks him up when he comes to the inside here. Costanzo stays on 90, and we get a big 20-yard gain out of it. So that's just an excellent job there from Nelson. Being disciplined. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he rolls them into the backfield as well, and being physical. That's just the 2 things that always stand out about Quenton Nelson: just physicality and discipline. It's just the 2 main traits of any elite offensive lineman, and he has both of them since day one he stepped into the league. But that's going to conclude this film session of Quenton Nelson. I hope you guys learned something new about him. Again, he's my favorite player. I love watching him. I think he has so many elite traits, so many elite, the things that just make him stand out from other players. It's just, it's a treat watching him play. It's an absolute treat having him on the Colts, my favorite team. How lucky is that to get the best offensive lineman in the league on your favorite team? There's not many times you get to say that. It's always fun when you got something like that, a guy like that on your team. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. If you like the content, drop a like, drop a subscribe, and until next time, guys, peace.